Ākina Trust Office. So, tēnā koutou katoa. Today is Thursday, the 2nd of October, 2025. I'm Rangi Maori. My great-great-grandmother was TePaea, who was a choice for the kingitanga from Tūwharetoa, ko Tūwharetoa ahau, or Tūte Mahuta Hapu or Pakira Marae. And TePaea's father was Kiriwera, and his wife was Taina Wairoroki ki Kaingaroa. And I'm here. I'd like to stand for the Opepe Trust Farm candidacy, because we've got this old urupa that's nearly 200 years old out at the Opepe, what's taken over by this Opepe Trust Farm contract of this company that's registered to the New Zealand Companies Registry with all these other companies behind me here. That I'm an investigative researcher and I'd like to stand for the candidacy. However, I want to put a complaint in that we're being blocked now as original landowners. Like I said, we've got an urupa out here that's 200 years old, and we also have an old homestead on there. I'd like to build on our land there, and I would actually like it returned. But it's been under siege, I say, by the Rothschilds bankers and these trust boards listed here that are registered to the New Zealand Companies Registry, including Opepe Trust Farm. Here I have the application form, eligibility to apply, and it says on here, and this is where they're trapping us. I want to point this out. Candidate eligibility. I'm not a person whom with the Mental Health Compulsory Assessment Act. So this is what the Crown is using now to block Māori from standing while they use these, I say, their agents, their fake agent, Māori agents, to work on behalf of the Crown. We can go into, and number 2, it says, I'm not bankrupt. I have never been convicted of an offence involving dishonesty, defined in the Crimes Act, blah, 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 and the Companies Act, blah, 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 and the Criminal Records Act. So this is actually, to me, this is a police application form that the New Zealand Police are bankrupt and broke again, and they are the direct biggest real estate land thieves in this country by using the Mental Health Act on us original principal landowners under Pakira Marae. Tūte Mahuta Hapu, that even our marae has been hijacked. We've got people who are on the paepae that need to be removed to restore justice to our principal marae, Pakira Marae, which is under Ngāta Roirangi, our tohunga, and his wife, who was also a tohunga Kaingaroa, Kia Roa. It also says in number 3, I have never been convicted of offence. I have not been convicted of an offence punishable by imprisonment for a term of 6 months and blah, blah, blah. I have not been disqualified from being a director of a company under the Companies Act. So we're talking about the Companies Act, where all companies in New Zealand are registered to the New Zealand Companies Records, which is full of corrupt and fake companies. I'm a researcher of investigative studies, and I'm investigating corruption in New Zealand, that white-collared crime has escalated 500% in this country, and they're breaching 100% of the Crimes Act themselves, and then they're putting in this candidate, this little dirty little clause right here to say the candidates to be eligible, you have to comply with their dirty policies for the company. I have never been removed as a trustee of a trust by order of a court. The courts are the biggest real estate land grabbers in this country. I do not have any pending property order made under Section 30, protection of personal property or the rights, blah, blah, blah. So this is what's going on right here. We're right in the middle of a candidacy, standing for our own land that's been stolen by Opepe Trust. They are registered to the New Zealand Companies Registry, which gives them shares on the New Zealand NZX farming industry for the Crown, Rothschilds and the Vatican. These companies are also regulated to the share market, the stock exchange for the Dow Jones Australia. Did you know this? For the London Stock Exchange, that's where all our meat and the milk and butter is being exported to, these criminals, to America. That's now $37 trillion in debt. So we're on the verge of the biggest shift in the balance of power. I say that we need to look at recovering stolen wealth that's being stolen by these fake companies. So this is a fake company, and these are fake companies. These are fake companies, and they're not. And in the background of these administrations are Pākehā sitting in the administration of the back office as your lawyer, your accountant, doing your computing, your business administration. That they're getting paid all the money, and they're draining our trusts, draining our lands of resources, of food supplies, and we need to recover. So I'm just here to talk about a wealth recovery program now. It's going to continue with her investigations into Heakana. That Heakana is another version of Deloitte. She's been studying Deloitte, and she's also found out, I've also found out that Deloitte was created by US aid funds. By US aid funds, Deloitte was created, and that they have been invading and raiding and looting Maori land in this country. And I'm here to talk about matters of justice now, and have a mass call for mass meetings in huis because of these criminals, that the New Zealand police are the biggest real estate transfer agents. Oh, there they go now, the New Zealand police. Imposters in this country, and that they've been stealing from us for too long now, and we want to do something about changes. So I'd like to stand for this candidacy. I revoke these mental health acts and all these acts and these claims of fraud against us, all rights reserved. We want our land back. I want the Opepe Trust Farm to be disqualified and deregistered. We want to know where all the meat and the products are going, and what they're actually doing with our land is all run by the rogue military now, rogue police, rogue army, and protected now. We've got the Australian Defence Force bludgers here. That all of these buildings here, to me, this is a shadow government. This is a shadow government that's running our affairs, and I disagree with it. We want to get a second opinion on them because they're all linked to the share market of money laundering and exporting everything that we own. We're being stripped right down. They're stripping us down. They're stealing all our meat, using our lands, being exploited. And I'd like to see my land returned and it to be utilised to its 100% use. And it can only be done when it's returned to the principal families. Returned to us principal families of Tū Mahuta Hapu Te Pākehā Marae. So I'm Rangi Māori. I'm the great-great-granddaughter of TePaea, whose father was Kiriwera, whose picture is up in this building here. And this is a shadow government to me. It's the Rothschilds. These are the Rothschilds agents. Once again, they're acting as a perpetual trust on our behalf. They don't work for us. They work for themselves. They're there to make a profit for themselves. And I'll just go over and talk about what's happening to the milk products. They used to have a butchery. They used to have a butchery where they were selling the meat, so it's all being exported now to feed their armies in World War III. So here is the milk. I say that $3.80 per litre, and for 2 litres it'll be $7.60. This is what's happening this is all they're offering, and this is being put out to the public, while the private landowners get nothing. Thank you for listening in today. Opepe, that's all they're offering. It's a bit of fresh farm milk, and they've got over 300 hectares of land. So what are they doing with our 300 hectares of land, people? They're exporting far too much of the productions, and I would say they're only utilising probably 30 to 40% of the land out there. We want it returned. I'd like it returned. I would like our land returned to the original principal landowners here in Tūwharetoa. And these fake companies that I've just explained to you need to be disqualified and deregistered from the New Zealand Companies Registry. That is not just another arm to exports, shareholdings to the stock exchange. We are bond slaves to the share markets now. The share markets are governing this country. When you have share markets governing the country, people, the NZX, the Dow Jones, the London Stock Exchange and Wall Street. The people need to step in now. We need to say cut their income off, cut their income supply off, and all their board members need to be removed, need to be stood down for removal for money laundering and fraud, because that's what they're involved in. This is nothing but a money laundering fraud operation. Thank you very much. Vote for me. I'd like to use our land to 100% of its maximum use, and that can only be done by the principal Tohunga families of TePaea and Kiriwera. That can only be done by us. It'll never be achieved under the Rothschilds agents, because that's who these people represent. Jacinda Ardern, the Rothschilds, and this is not my king and this is not my Maori queen either. I just want to finish with a note that I was just attended a tangi, Te Hiuhiu's tangi, and I was very disappointed that Tainui had hijacked the whole tangi and we couldn't really grieve over at Waihi, over at his birthplace in Marae of Tumu Te Hiuhiu, and it's very disappointing how they just hijacked the whole tangi, took it over because they're expanding their partnership deals, which is totally corrupt. Thank you. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa.